The wind whispers through the trees, its breath cold and relentless, sending shivers down your spine as you pull your jacket tighter around you. You make your way along the narrow path, the ground beneath your feet uneven and treacherous. Shadowy branches reach out like long fingers, twisting and intertwining above you, blocking what little light the moon can provide. You never intended to come here alone, but the quiet allure of this remote cabin in the woods was far too enticing for you to resist. The cabin sits at the edge of a small clearing, framed by tall pines that seem to bow down with secrets. Its wooden walls, weathered by time, are draped in thick vines, and the roof is sagging, calling to mind a weary traveler who has seen too much but longed for peace. You can feel the weight of solitude hanging in the air, a palpable presence that wraps around you, suffocating yet intoxicating. As you step inside, the door creaks ominously, echoing like a mournful sigh. Dust motes dance in the dim light that filters through the grimy window panes. You take a moment to let your eyes adjust, scanning the interior. The space is simple, an old stone fireplace, a table scarred from years of use, a faded couch that has long seen better days. A strange stillness permeates the atmosphere, one that makes your heart race just a little faster. You set your bag down, excitement bubbling in your chest. This weekend was meant for solitude, for reflection. The world outside feels like a distant memory, a chaotic blur you can now escape from. But as you unpack your things, you notice something. A heavy, oppressive silence, like a thick fog pressing down on everything. You assume it's just the isolation playing tricks on your mind, but soon, you can't shake the feeling that you're not quite alone here. Night falls faster than expected. The sky outside darkens to a deep, inky blue, and you kindle a fire in the fireplace. Flames flicker and crackle, casting shadows that play tricks on the walls, making it feel as if the cabin itself is alive, breathing. You sit back in the chair, a mug of tea warming your hands, yet a sense of wrongness creeps into your thoughts. You try to distract yourself, flipping through an old book left behind on the table. The pages are filled with quaint descriptions of the area, trails to explore, and wildlife to observe. But as you read, you find annotations scrawled in the margins, the handwriting frantic and erratic. Phrases like, "not safe after dark," and "they watch," snag your attention, causing your skin to prick with unease. You brush it off, a mere eccentricity of the previous occupant. After all, people often leave their mark on places they deem significant. The following day, you decide to explore, eager to shake off the creeping dread that settled in overnight. You venture down a narrow trail, deep into the woods, listening to the symphony of nature surrounding you, birds chirping, leaves rustling, the earth crunching beneath your feet. It feels freeing at first, but as the trees close in around you, ancestral instincts tell you you're being watched. Your footsteps become hesitant, and before long, you stumble upon a clearing. It feels eerily familiar. A sense of déjà vu envelops you. In the center stands a dilapidated structure, a long-abandoned shack that blends almost seamlessly with the landscape. Its walls are adorned with the markings of time, fading, peeling. Yet there it is, a remnant of something once vibrant. Curiosity grips you, pulling you closer, despite the instinctive urge to flee. As your hand brushes against the weathered boards, a chill cascades down your spine. Compelled, you push the door open. It groans in protest. Inside, the air is stale, thick with the scent of decay. You peer around, finding old furniture shrouded in dust, forgotten memories hidden beneath layers of neglect. But it's the back wall that draws your attention, a set of strange symbols scratched into the wood, lines and curves that seem to form a language of the lost. You can't help but reach out, running your fingers along the worn carvings. Electric tingles travel up your arm, and for a moment, an image flashes in your mind. A circle of people, faces obscured, gathered in this very spot, their voices chanting in unison. An undeniable sense of unease swells within you, and you step back instinctively. You shake your head, trying to dismiss the thoughts swirling in your mind. Perhaps it's just remnants of a local legend or an old superstitious marking, nothing to truly fear. But as you exit the shack, a cold breath skitters along your neck, sending a wave of anxiety crashing over you. That evening, the darkness presses in around you like a thick blanket. You light the fireplace again, its warm glow providing a temporary comfort. Still, the gnawing sensation that something is off clings to you, refusing to let go. The shadows seem deeper, and the silence more deafening. You try to center yourself with a book, but the pages blur together. The words escape you. Instead, you decide to explore the cabin further, hoping a distraction might break the mounting tension. As you wander through the rooms, you come across a small door tucked away in the corner of what was once the kitchen. It's partially ajar, exhaling a faint, musty odor. Pushing it open reveals a narrow staircase leading down into a dark cellar, a place you hadn't known existed. The impulse to turn back is strong, but curiosity propels you forward. With each step you take, the air grows cooler, heavier. You flick on the flashlight you brought with you, and the beam dances against the stone walls, illuminating odd shapes and piles of clutter. Old jars line the shelves, some filled with murky substances long past their prime, while others house twisted roots and unidentified collections that make your stomach turn. But it's at the far end of the room that you find it. A wooden chest, battered and scarred, but still intact. Your heartbeat quickens while you reach out, brushing your fingers against the rough surface. It feels ancient, alive with a history you can't quite grasp. You take a deep breath before opening it. The lid creaks loudly as you lift it, revealing its contents. A collection of faded photographs stacked haphazardly, yellowing edges curling as if still holding onto the light. You sift through the images, each one a snapshot of lives long gone, faces staring back at you from the abyss of time. But they all share a single, unsettling characteristic. Each face bears an expression of pure terror, eyes wide and hollow, as if they are all somehow aware of a great evil lurking just beyond the frame. It sends a cold shiver through your body, and you drop the photographs back into the chest, feeling the weight of their stares follow you as you back away. Yet something compels you to look closer, the previous occupants staring back at you, their fear gripping your heart like an icy vice. In the top corner of one photograph, you notice something else. An object, a small wooden figurine that seems out of place. You find your breath hitching as the details wash over you in waves, a representation of the exact symbols you saw in that shack. No longer able to quell the spiraling dread, you bolt back upstairs, fumbling in the dark. The fire in the hearth has dwindled to dying coals, leaving only shadows dancing across the walls. You lie on the couch, heart racing, feeling as though breathing itself is a test, an exercise in restraint. The hours stretch, the silence wrapping you in a tight embrace, suffocating and disconcerting. Sleep evades you, nor do you dare to close your eyes. Instead, you listen intently, catching every creak and groan of the old cabin, every whisper of the wind outside. In the depths of your mind, you're convinced you can hear the muffled echoes of voices threaded through the rustling leaves, akin to a soft chant that makes the hairs on your arms stand on end. When the first rays of dawn finally break through the grimy windows, you feel an undeniable relief. You step outside, desperate for the warmth of the sun. The world is washed in golden lee. Gate, though something feels off. The birds are silent, and there's a stillness in the air that hangs heavy. You venture toward the shack again, compelled to uncover the secrets it holds. But as you approach, your stomach tightens. The shack stands, but it feels different. A palpable sense of foreboding seeps from its walls. The symbols seem to pulse, squirming in the sunlight as if they're alive. Caution blossoms in your chest, warning you to retreat. But driven by a need to understand, you push the door open again. Inside, you find a gathering of materials that shouldn't belong. Twigs and dried leaves in a pile, remnants of a fire long extinguished. In the dim light, the shadows shift as you step forward, and you feel a presence at your back. When you turn quickly, nothing is there. Yet the overwhelming sensation of being watched clings to you. The unease grows insistent, clawing at your mind as you stumble upon another object, a large mirror, its surface cloudy and tarnished, reflecting nothing but an echo of the space around you. Something compels you to look closer, despite the dread coiling in your stomach. As you step closer to the mirror, something flickers beyond the glass, an image of movement. But it's not the reflection of you standing there. Instead, it's the faces from the photographs. They're gathered around the cabin, their expressions twisted in fear, mouths opening and closing in silent screams. You recoil in horror, your heart pounding in your chest. Then an icy realization washes over you. They aren't just reflections. The figures exist within a realm that is on the cusp of that mirror, and they know you're here. You rush back, but your feet feel heavy, as if the very ground is trying to anchor you in place. The air grows colder, whispering in your ear. You press your palms against the wall to steady yourself, heart racing, but something pulls at your consciousness. A whisper, a plea that you can't quite understand yet feels hauntingly familiar. You shake your head, telling yourself it's simply the remnants of your imagination. But the voices grow clearer, more urgent, a dissonant chant filling the space with an energy that seeps deep into your bones. The panic rises, and you turn, ready to flee, when you catch sight of a shadow flickering past the edge of the mirror. It's a figure cloaked in darkness, features obscured but eyes glinting with a malevolence that steals the breath from your lungs. As you bolt for the door, the air thickens, and the shadows stretch, reaching out to grasp you. You burst outside, heart racing, but even in the brightness of day, the weight of the night before clings to you like mist. You rush back to the cabin, but the air seems to shift around you, warping reality, making familiar paths feel foreign. Your breath quickens as you spot the chest you had found earlier. It seems to almost pulse with the energy of the past as you approach, the photographs scattered haphazardly. You wish desperately to escape, to leave this place, but the photographs once more nag at your consciousness, reminders of the warning you should heed. The symbols carved in the wood are beckoning you, a sinister invitation to understand. Yet as you reach for the chest, you feel it. A cold presence breathing down your neck, urging you to look deeper. You turn, trembling, feeling the ground shift beneath you as dark figures emerge from the edges of reality. They stand there, faces hollow, eyes wide, the same expressions of terror born from the photographs now manifesting before you. Suddenly, the world tilts, sound warbling in and out. You catch a glimpse of something in the distance. A figure stands at the edge of the woods. It's beckoning you with a gesture that feels achingly familiar. Fear wraps around you, and instinct tells you to run, farther and faster than you can imagine. But their eyes hold you captive, a mortality that transcends fear, begging for release. You stumble backwards as the presence intensifies, the overwhelming dread engulfing you until it feels suffocating. The last thing you remember is the cold, unyielding darkness creeping in as the forgotten faces close in, their silent screams resonating in your ears. You awaken in the cabin, the early morning light flooding the room, fragile and serene. You sit up slowly, heart pounding against your ribcage, a weight pressing down on your chest as you try to grasp the slivers of memory. The photographs, the shack, the faces. Setting your feet on the floor feels heavy, as if the ground has shifted again. But your desire to escape is urgent, stronger than the fear that lingers. You step outside, the sun illuminating the woods, giving you one last moment of delusion. The shack stands still in the distance, shadows pooling at its entrance, but there's no sign of the figures, no lingering sense of wrongness present. Your pulse races as you retreat towards the path leading away from the cabin. But something tugs at the edge of your consciousness, a whisper from unseen lips, echoing in the back of your mind. You realize then, their stories still linger here, watchers still waiting. Something sinister breathes with the wind, and as you take one final glance back at the cabin, a realization washes over you. You may have escaped physically, but what of your memories? What of the fragment that still calls to you relentlessly? The echoes of the past will haunt this place, whispering through the dark as you find solace miles away, while the truth leaches into the recesses of your mind, waiting patiently for your return. The forest whispers secrets you may never comprehend, stirred by restless shadows that seep into your bones. And yet, you are drawn back, time and again, like a moth circling a flickering flame, borne by an unquenchable thirst for understanding, only to realize that some truths are better left buried amongst the murmurs of the trees, dormant, waiting.